Welcome back. This is Sleepless Ronin, and today I'm going to do something a bit different than my usual fare. I'm going to talk about the Wheel of Time teaser trailer that dropped today. I thought about doing a reaction video, but I'm not exactly the kind of guy that jumps around and bounces on camera for, entertainment or whatever. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of analyze a bunch of the images I've taken stills of and talk about what I think I'm seeing in them and any insights or questions I may have had. So you're going to be a bit, we're going to try to look at this more in depth, try to find Easter eggs and spoilers and interesting things in these images. So the first image we're going to look at is the image of Nynaeve shoving Egwene into the river. I'm fairly certain this must happen when they're fleeing some Trollocs, and I thought that in the books this occurred after Barillon. It's been a little bit while, and that's a bit fuzzy for me, even though I did just finish listening to the entire audiobook series just a couple months ago. Still, touch fuzzy on the details there. But I do know they end up in a river and then up on the other side of it, kind of split into two groups. Matt, Rand, and Tom on one group, and then Perrin, Egwene, Nynaeve, Moiraine, and Lan in the other group. So I'm guessing that this must be somewhere around that part of the book, which is interesting because I thought that they went to Shadar Logoth before this, but I might have my events in the wrong order. Still, it's kind of a funny scene anyways. But man, they're shooting in some beautiful places. That's a gorgeous river, and that's beautiful mountains out there. I absolutely love that. The next shot is what I'm going to assume are the Mountains of Mist, because they're kind of hazy and they're mountainy, so Mountains of Mist to me. And I'm counting at least two rivers for the Two Rivers, the Two Rivers area. This has got to be the Mountains of Mist and the Two Rivers. So, hooray, that looks gorgeous. I love it. Fantastic scenery. Totally beautiful. I really, really can't wait to spend some time in this world. Emond's Field. Absolutely, beyond a doubt, Emond's Field. There's the tree in the center of the square, and that's got to be the Wine Spring Inn right there. The, timber and stone building at the back of the square. So, really nice. I like the costuming. It's very nice. I kind of imagine the buildings being a little bit more compact, like closer together. But this works for me. And again, we're in the Mountains of Mist because there's mist and there's mountains. So, hooray. Now we're inside the Wine Spring Inn. Now, this is a great shot, in my opinion, of the three guys, of Rand, Perrin, and Matt. They look like good friends sitting down and having a lot of fun right there. That's a perfect scene that really, really shows their character, actually, in just this still. I love it. And that is an excellent Rand expression. That's just got the right level of, the smirk right there is perfect. I'm thrilled with this. I really can't wait for this series to fully drop. I am so looking forward to this. And I'm really, really starting to like the actors they picked for the characters. I really think the more I see them, the more they're fitting the role. So I wasn't 100% sold, especially when they gave Matt a beard, but my God, I think they're fitting. It just from this trailer and just from the images, I think they're fitting. And we come to the first scene. I have no idea at all what I'm looking at. It's a guy kissing a ring. Is it a Great Serpent Ring? It kind of looks like a Great Serpent Ring, which are kind of big. I mean, you're going to see them. They're pretty big in this series, and I think that must be to make them easier to see on screen. Because I always envisioned the Great Serpent Ring as being just a simple band of metal that was a snake eating its own tail, Ouroboros. The serpent rings are much bigger in this, but is this guy kissing a Great Serpent Ring? And who is this guy? I mean, I am maybe I'm missing something, but I don't know what's going on at all in this scene. This scene, I'm assuming, is an Egwene dream sequence, which I don't remember when she actually starts dreaming again. It must have been relatively early on. But if we can see here, we see the colors of the Ajahs. We see yellow, white, red. Well, there's purples and pinks, but I'm assuming it's supposed to be the colors of the Ajahs. I don't really see a specific blue, gray. Maybe there's a brown in there. They're kind of swirly in there in the water, but I think it's supposed to represent the colors of the Ajahs being draped over her. So Nice motif. Let's see what happens in the show for this one. I'm going to hold my reservations on this one right now. This is the scene that I about shouted when I saw. Oh, this is gorgeous. The city of Tar Valon, it looks pretty close to how I imagined it. The White Tower is a bit different. It's a bit more techy than I imagined. I kind of imagined a much more smooth-sided building, but I like it. And then Dragon Mount in the back. Again, that's gorgeous. I always kind of imagine, personally, my Dragon Mount is being a lot sharper, but that's really good. That's a greatly composed. That shot is a beautiful composition piece. I love it. And now we've come to what looks like the Great Hall to me, which is, again, not exactly how I imagined it, but it works. It's very decorative, which is quite cool. And we can see the Ajahs around the room. I think we're seeing red. Is that green next? Yellow, blue, white, brown, and then gray, I think, over here in the one corner. So, that's interesting. I wonder what's occurring in this scene. Because we see Moiraine in front of the Amyrlin, who's I'm assuming is in the chair. That's Siuan Sanche. From, if they're holding to that. And then we've got a bunch of red and green Ajah down there on the floor as well. So I'm very interested. I know that Logain is going to be more important in this, and we're going to see that in a little bit. So maybe this got something to do with Logain. I don't know 100%. Now we're seeing some healing. It looks like someone from the Green Ajah? I think that's the Green Ajah. Healing Moiraine. As we're going to see in the next scene. And there's the big, great serpent ring I was talking about. That thing is quite bulky. Not how I envisioned it. See, we're healing. And I'm wondering, did Moiraine get stabbed by a Thakandar blade? Because that wound doesn't look normal. That wound looks like angry red and then burned. So a Thakandar blade? I mean, interesting. I wonder when this is occurring. I mean, I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions. Like this scene. I don't understand what is going on in this scene at all. We see a double axe wielding guy, and we're going to see him again. We see what I do assume is Lan in the front. And is that Nynaeve behind him? And then what the hell else is going on? I see 3 red Ajah and a green Ajah behind Lan. And then I think another sister as well. And guys with shields and swords, and I don't know what's going on in this at all. They're having arrows shot at them. Okay, from who? From where? I don't understand. I'm going to have to wait and see on this one. It's a curious scene to me. That is a heck of a walled city. And I'm wondering what city it is. I mean, I'm thinking of cities along the rivers, and there's Tauren Ferry, not Tauren, give me Tauren Ferry. If memory serves, Caemlyn is not on a river. Okay. Is it Whitebridge? I don't see a bridge. Which I think would be very, very obvious if this was Whitebridge. Barillon? I don't remember Barillon being on a river either. I think I said that. Four Kings? I'm fairly certain Four Kings isn't on a river. Shadar Logoth? Was Shadar Logoth on a river? I mean, the walls are very tall and very big. And they look kind of broken if you look down there by that one section where there's islands. They look very broken-y. So maybe this is Shadar Logoth? Maybe we're leaving. Maybe that's Mat and Rand fleeing from Shadar Logoth up these mountains. I do love this, though. I love seeing the Two Rivers guys wielding their bows. That's just cool. I hope we see more of that. Oh, and here we have Mat starting down the wrong path right away with the ruby dagger. Different take on it. That's fine. It works. It's still a very obvious ruby and a dagger. And that black stuff, I do believe, is the Mashadar, which is, again, not exactly how I envisioned Mashadar. I always envisioned Mashadar as being a very silvery, ethereal, tentacled mist. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, again, it's fine they changed some of this stuff up, and as long as the story is still good and still close. I'm not expecting to, get page for page out of the book. That'd be impossible to do. So, it's a different take on it. Interesting, we'll see. And then, boom, Shadar Logoth up on the walls. See, those are big, tall walls. Could that be the city that we saw in that one scene? I'm leaning towards saying that yes, that is it. And the spikes right there, the tall buildings, they look like they could fit. So that's where I'm leaning towards. I really think that this might be Shadow Logoth at night, and the other scene was Shadow Logoth in the day. And you can see the dark shadow, the really dark shadows. I do believe that's the Mashadar again in this one. And you really can't make out anything on the other side of the wall. That could be water over there. I can't tell. It's just so deep in shadow. And I have no idea what is going on in this scene either. We have Matt there with his beard. Still getting used to that, but I think it's pretty good. I think it's okay. And I'm trying to figure out, who is this guy? Is this an Aiel warrior? Because the way they're dressed is kind of reminiscent of like desert nomadic clothing with like leather armor on. He's punctured by arrows and he's hung up in a cage. I mean, it can't be Gaul because Gaul is not dead. Gaul is not dead. So is this just another Aiel warrior hanging in a cage though? I mean, I'm very curious about this. What exactly is going on here? And I'm fairly certain that this is Hopper. Because Hopper is described as having like cloud gray fur. And this wolf has cloud gray fur. So I'm going to just make the assumption that we meet Hopper in the trailer, which is fantastic. In the world of What scenes, not Wheel of Time, WHAT, period, What is going on here? When does this occur? When is this? This looks a little bit sexy-timey. I don't think that seems a bit odd to me. A little bit not quite so right. I don't know what's going on here between Egwene and Rand. We'll see in the series. And here we see two guys that look absolutely, totally bummed out in the middle of a very ruined ruin. Again, I don't know what's going on here. I like the scene. I like how decayed everything looks. It's very cool. But I have no idea what's going on. Is this maybe supposed to be taking like place in book 2 or like they're separated from Rand? I don't know. I really don't know. The next 3 scenes I love a lot. This obviously is a shot from Beltane where people are dancing in a circle. It's great because I love the visual motif here. We're going to see a lot of circles really soon. So the dancing at Beltane in a circle, Beltane, is really cool. I love that. Then, corpses laid out in a circle. I don't understand this at all. I really want this one explained. But it looks like this may have occurred after that battle with the arrows, maybe? Because we got a bunch of red Aja. Maybe this is all from something with Logain. I don't understand. I'm very curious to figure out what's going on, but I love this circle motif. And more circle motif. Now we're looking down, I'm assuming at the Great Hall, and we're seeing the Ajas laid out, and we see the colors on the floor, which I thought would be a bit more vibrant, but it works. But it's circles and circles and circles and circles and circles. It's just hitting the whole wheel motif again and again and again. And I like that. I love when motif comes through. I mean, sometimes it's a bit heavy-handed. This seems a bit heavy-handed, but I like that anyways. It's impactful. Myrddraal. Okay. The cloak is not exactly as I imagined. And I'm not sure why the horse is wearing a skull mask, but whatever. We'll go with it. It's just personally, if I was trying to hide, I wouldn't put a skull mask on my horse because it makes the horse look a bit weird. I would leave the horse as normal and just hide my face under a cowl. Like he's doing, but skull mask on horse. And we come to yet another scene of what? I don't know what's going on here at all. I don't know where these guys are from. Like I'm not. The clothing is not helping right now. I would want to say Shinar, because there's a little bit of influence there. I think seems kind of Shinaran, but I'm not 100% certain. We're in a wood, and there's crazy guys screaming with swords. I don't know what's going on. This has got to be Logain. This has got to be Logain, and oh my god, does he have presence. Even in this tiny little bit of scene of the trailer, ooh, he has presence. And he lets his presence be felt. When I'm assuming he's tapping into the male half of the one power, saidin, and he is just wrecking face with it while he's in a cage. So, yay. again, I'm going to be really interested to see what they're going to do with Logain, how they're going to expand his role. And now we have Blurlocks. I mean, Trollocs. I mean, they are just a blur right here. Big fire in the background, and you can't tell anything except for loincloth and spear and horns. Blur, 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 blur. Now we're back to, I don't know where. There's the 2-axe guy again, jumping now. There looks like there's a Blue Aja lady. I think she's Blue Aja. And then somebody wrapped in the 1 power, and I don't know who that is. So, action sequence without explanation. Good for a trailer, makes me very curious. I mean, when are we underground anyways? I don't know. Then there's this scene, which is also confusing to me. Are the Trollocs coming through some sort of portal? I mean, they were brought to the 2 rivers, if I do remember right, via the Way Gates. Or the Ways, which should be there. But this is like they're being teleported in, so I'm very confused. And if they're doing that, that's going to be really a big change. Because Trollocs are not supposed to be able to go through the portals that people can open up, the gateways. Those are essentially kill Shadow Spawn. So this is a huge change in theme if they're actually able to come through gates. Or maybe, I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm seeing something wrong there, but I swore it looked like they were appearing from a gate, which to me is I think the single biggest change I've seen so far, and will really have story implications for later on. So that's going to be interesting. Because I mean, now if the villains can just drop Trollocs anywhere with way gates, or with not way gates, or with gateways, then that's going to change the way things are going to work. So, we'll see. This is very interesting to me. I don't know. Is this supposed to be the portal stones? Because I mean, the way gates are supposed to be like, built in cities, in places, and they have an Avendasora leaf on the outside to activate them, and they have doors that open and close, so you can, keep the Mashin Shin inside. So to me, I'm wondering if these aren't the portal stones that they use to transfer to the other world, the world of mirrors or whatever, Teleron Riyadh. So very interested what the heck these are, and I'm trying to figure out if that one guy in the middle of the screen, way in the background, if that's Loyal or not, because it looks like that might be a pretty big dude on a big horse, but I'm not certain. I really wish they'd have shown Loyal somewhere in this, very obviously, so I could tell that it's him, because that's actually one thing I'm really missing from this, is I wanted to see him. And now we come to Myrddraal again, and that is not how I imagined Myrddraal. I didn't imagine them having, lamprey-like mouths. It works, and it is definitely creepy. I also kind of imagine them having more of a distinguishable nose. I mean, obviously eyeless, but I didn't expect them to be noseless, more or less, also. Interesting take on them. And it definitely is creepy, so good enough, I guess. Now we see a shot of Lan completely shocked by something. I honestly have no idea what he's shocked by. Trollocs or something invading. Maybe Moraine's getting stabbed or something, I don't know. But the next scene is Moraine going to be using the 1 power, so we're going to go to that. But I do like that he's got the cord. That's really cool. The sign of the Valkyrie. I love that they have that. That's a nice little detail they've made sure to include. See, like I said, now we're seeing Moraine use the 1 power. This is obviously an Eamon's Field. You can tell by the building shapes in the background. And she just knocked someone flying. Has a sword. I mean, is that Lan again? I can't 100% tell. And something's going on. And she's just really pulling the power. And then we see the power swirling around her, which is really kind of cool. People are all over the ground. There's some dead Trollocs. We actually now see them better than any other picture. They're kind of like furry men with horns, with beastie faces. Which is pretty much the right description. I just, kind of expected them to be, I don't know, bit darker. And then we get the best part of the whole trailer, the release date. I mean, we already knew the release date, but it's nice to see it again, in black and white, literally. And it's thrilling. I mean, I cannot wait for this. This is going to be 3 episodes on November 19th, then we're going to get 1 weekly thereafter. Going to be running through the 24th, I do believe. So, hooray. I mean, I cannot wait for this. I'm just hoping that Season 2 doesn't take forever to follow along. I want Season 2 to hopefully hit relatively rapidly afterwards so they can keep the pace of this up. I mean, I hope they're already filming Season 2, so hopefully they're just going to keep going and keep it a good pace, because I don't want this to lag and just have a lot of downtime and end up in limbo. I'm just hoping it keeps going and keeps going. And that is the end of my image review. I hope I caught everything I was looking at. And if you have any answers to my questions I posed, please post them in the comments. I would love to know what I was looking at in a few of those scenes. So, yeah, if you've enjoyed this video, please hit like, subscribe to my channel, because I can tell you this much: you are going to see more Wheel of Time content in addition to my usual video games, board games, and Battletech stuff. But Wheel of Time is definitely going to be featured on here when it starts dropping this November, because Wheel of Time has been a huge part of my life, and I really cannot wait to talk about this wonderful, fantastic new media representation of it that I am so hoping, is as good as the trailer shows it to be. So, with that said, again, like, subscribe, do the YouTube stuff, and this is Sleepless Ronin saying, we'll catch you next time. Sayonara.